overview of the study abroad process. Please refer to this video and the Getting Started guide to learn more about the basics of study abroad. Hello, my name is Carmen Boggs and I'm happy to help guide you on your study abroad journey. My office is located upstairs in Moorhead Hall, room 204. I have advising hours available each day, and online you will find the link to schedule a time to sit down and talk with me. Feel free to email me as well, and I will be happy to answer questions that you have about study abroad. Please note, I am available for Zoom or WhatsApp conferences as well. Today, I would like to debunk some study abroad myths. I can't afford it. It will put me behind for graduation. I don't speak the language. I can't study abroad with my major. You will soon see that these obstacles do not need to hold you back from studying abroad. Just as a side note, the photos used in this video belong to former study abroad students. This photo is of Gabe Umland. He studied in New Zealand. Here you can see he is visiting the Hobbiton movie set. See what cool things you can do while you're studying abroad. You may ask yourself, why should I study abroad? There are many benefits to making this choice. Here are some benefits from inside the classroom. You can stay on track with your degree by taking major-specific courses. Most students who study abroad do so while bringing back credits toward their major, minor, concentration, and INQ courses. Learn or perfect language skills through intensive language courses. Intensive language courses allow students to receive up to 2 years' worth of credits in a single semester, depending on the program you choose. Many programs offer immersive language and culture curriculums. You can also gain a new perspective on your discipline. How does culture affect business or psychology or communication, etc.? You can expand your course selection. Here is an opportunity to take courses not offered at Roanoke College to complement your major or minor. Let's say you are a bio major with a particular fascination with marine biology. Roanoke College does not offer a wide selection of those courses. Why not spend a semester taking courses at a renowned university in the tropics? You could end up doing field research taking coral samples off the Great Barrier Reef. Outside the classroom, field trips and tours are included in many programs, and typically there are some optional excursions that you can participate in as well. Internships. Internships are not available at every site and may depend on visa and immigration requirements of your host country. There are a variety of valuable skill-building internships available, though. Internships also often require language fluency, but there are a good number that do not. Or if you take your internship in an English-speaking country, that's also something that would not be affected. Internships can be taken for credit if your department approves. Field studies, I mentioned some of those things in the last slide, that we've had students who have done really cool projects, mostly in environmental science and archaeology, so please keep that in mind. Service opportunities. Service opportunities are available at a number of our sites. Some of these opportunities can be tied to course participation if you choose a service learning course, for instance. There are also volunteer opportunities available in many of our sites for students who would prefer something a little less formal. Conversation partners. TICOs, intercambios, tandems, whatever you want to call them. Many of our language-intensive programs offer language partners to help students meet locals their age and practice the language, including the slang and the dialect of their region. It's a very enjoyable thing for students to participate in. Cultural studies. Many sites offer some classes geared towards cultural studies, such as Tai Chi in Shanghai or surfing in Costa Rica and San Sebastian, kendo, ceramics, or koto in Japan, dancing in Spain, cooking in Spain, Italy, and France. There are lots of things that you can get involved with that are really amazing opportunities for you. So if we're looking at the career benefits for studying abroad, only about 10% of students study abroad during their undergraduate career. It's still something that sets you apart from other students, so distinguish yourself. Almost 2/3 of study abroad alumni say that their experience improves their career opportunities earlier in their career. Employers can look at candidates of equal merit and qualification, but if one is studied abroad, then a number of employers prefer to hire the candidate that studied abroad because of the skills that were developed during that time. So build your resume, especially with internships and volunteer experiences. Demonstrate your ability to adapt to new situations. You are part of a global citizenry. If you're willing to understand others and can recognize and appreciate the diversity in our global community, that is a very valuable thing to humanity as well as to the job search. So study abroad demonstrates that you can live and work in a multicultural environment, and that can lead to the development of cross-cultural competence, which is a very highly sought-after skill in the workplace. You can develop strong interpersonal skills where you learn to communicate more effectively and confidently. You don't have to work in another country to leverage these valuable skills. We will all be working across cultures in the future. However, it is essential if you're planning on working globally in your future to have some of these abilities. And international jobs, for those of you who are interested in that, can include working for an international company, contacting people from other countries, working, living abroad for periods of time, working in the U.S. and traveling abroad, having a targeted international skill or area of knowledge, and using a base of multicultural knowledge and proficiency. All of these kinds of skills will help you succeed in those types of arenas. So if we're talking about personal benefits on this next slide, your peers say they studied abroad to get away, to learn about themselves, to discover new ways to see the world. So grow as a person and discover your sense of independence. Find out how good you really are at taking the initiative to do the things you want to do. Find adventure. Show your willingness to take risks outside of your comfort zone. Discover your sense of humor. Find out how sensitive, adaptable, or flexible you are. Develop new friendships and networks. The friends and connections you make while abroad, you will have for a lifetime. In most cases, this is so true. I am still friends with people that I studied abroad with, and that was a really long time ago. Opportunity to live abroad before being tied to a career. You develop the skills, memories, and friendships that you will build on for the rest of your life. So, when can I study abroad? We have program options to fit every need. May term program is 3 weeks long. Those are faculty-led intensive learning courses that can be on campus, but they also can travel. We get a large amount of our students participating in those May term travel courses. A summer program, which is 3 to 10 weeks. Let's say we have a great partnership with Virginia program in Oxford, which is in Oxford, England, that Mark Miller out of the history department has been working with, and that program has been running for 40 years. It's a very really fun, amazing program that you can get involved with. Also semester or year long. This, of course, is what I'm urging you to do. The longer that you can stay abroad, the more of those skills that you can develop. And I hope that you can take advantage of that. You can also mix it up. Students often study abroad for a term at one program and then attend another program the next semester or the summer, or do a May term and then decide that, I often get students who are like, I don't know that I could leave my friends or my family for a whole semester. And so they decide to take a May term abroad, and they do that, and they're like, wow, I enjoyed this. I could do this for longer. And so sometimes that can be a platform to expand into longer study abroad experiences. So what courses can I take abroad? I get this question a whole lot working with students. If you plan ahead, you have more choices in what classes you can take abroad. Study abroad credit is transfer credit. You must obtain the equivalent of a C- or better in the local grading system to obtain transfer credit. Credits earned will be reflected on your Roanoke College transcript as transfer credit. That transfer credit does not impact your GPA on your Roanoke College transcript. Some graduate schools may require an original transcript from the host institution, though. So when we talk about what kinds of courses can you can take required courses for your major, minor, concentration credit. You can take elective courses for those major, minor, concentration credits. Like often we won't have a particular topic available here at Roanoke, but it is a topic that's relevant to your discipline, and so students can take that under a special topics moniker. Also, you can get INQ credit abroad. Students don't often realize this. You certainly can. Now, it's harder to get the natural sciences abroad approved for INQs just because sometimes there are differences in the way labs are set up and things like that. And so we have to be very careful about that. But if you are looking for a social science or a humanities INQ, so you're talking a 260, 270, 271, particular 271 is quite easy to find abroad. So save that one up if you can. You can also take electives towards your total number of required courses for graduation. So don't ever think, well, if I'm taking an elective, it doesn't count. It certainly does count. It counts in your total count of the courses that you're required, 33.5 units to graduate from Roanoke College. Now, if you are a double major or something like that, you may not be hurting for those units, but oftentimes students still need to make up several electives if they haven't done that. Now, I do want to make a sort of qualifier here. Students who participate in our faculty-led May-term courses or our faculty-led semesters will be receiving Roanoke College credit and not transfer credit because there are courses taught by our people. So, where will you live? Housing options are another immersion opportunity. They vary by location, but in general, you will have the option of homestays, student apartments, or residence halls. In general, homestay is usually the recommended option for language programs since it allows you to be more immersed in the country. These may not always be traditional family situations. Sometimes it can be an older woman who her children have grown and she'd like to have a young person in the house again, for instance. Student residence halls allow you the opportunity to meet other international and local students. So if that's really more your vibe, then you can do that. Apartments may be with international or American students. You're not going to have an apartment on your own, so have no fear about that. The big question: can I afford to study abroad? For the majority of you, the answer will definitely be a resounding yes. You may even save a little money for the semester depending on the location you choose. Why is this the case? Because Roanoke College offers a benefit that many other colleges and universities do not. You are able to apply your financial aid for your term abroad. So, financial aid applies. There are Roanoke College scholarships. There are program-specific scholarships, like some of our providers offer those. There are outside scholarships, like the Boren, the Gilman, the Freeman Asia, the CLS. These are programs that we have been so fortunate to have students receive these programs, and we have our secret weapon of Jenny Rostai to help students prepare those essays for those scholarships for the students that apply. You do have to be a Pell recipient to apply for those, and a U.S. citizen. Also, distinction project proposal opportunities. So, if you are in honors and you are developing your distinction project, if you can tie your distinction project to a term abroad, then you can put in your proposal that you need some funds to help you do that. And that's a great opportunity for many students to get fees, like if they wanted to access a particular library and there were certain fees that were called for, if they needed to travel among sites, or even just to get there. So these are great opportunities for people. It's a lot of information, I know, but the bottom line is you will always have to pay Roanoke College tuition and fees. Always. But whatever you receive for financial aid will still apply. Students who are here on tuition exchange or tuition remission, those students that don't actually pay tuition directly, must go abroad on an exchange program, not an affiliate program. But you still can do this. I will explain the differences in those program models below. But your billing from Roanoke College may look a little different, but your program determines who you pay. Some programs are full exchanges where you pay Roanoke College for everything. Some exchanges we have and some affiliate programs are tuition and fees only, which means that you pay run a college for tuition and fees and pay your host institution for housing. Most universities abroad do not have meal plans like we do, so you would not be charged upfront for a plan like that. You would need to set money aside for meals, either purchasing food at a store and cooking, and meals that you purchase at restaurants. We have some programs where you would pay run a college tuition and housing, but not meals at all. So there's a lot of details, but the important thing to remember is that you can use your financial aid to go abroad. There are scholarships available, and I will work with you to find a program that meets your goals and that you can still afford. What other expenses should I expect? So this is the part that can get more expensive. So actually affording the semester yourself, for tuition and fees or housing, that can be quite affordable, maybe even cheaper. But sometimes it really does depend on your personal goals and where you're going. So do you have a passport already? If you do not, that is a passport fee you'll have to budget in. Visa fees, depending on where you go, depending on how long you're going. You may or may not have to have a visa. Most places do require a visa, and those visa fees can range from $0, New Zealand, for instance, to Australia runs about $500 because you have a health fee you have to pay as well. So there's a range there, and I can, of course, help you through with that information. Special insurance. So Rona College does have insurance that we provide for every student who studies abroad, but maybe the visa requires for a certain level that we don't have. Or maybe you're participating in an ISEP program, which requires you to buy their insurance. So this could be a thing. If so, they're not usually too expensive. I'd say the ISEP is probably the most expensive, and it runs to be about $380, something like that, dollars for the semester. Local transportation costs. So this also depends on where you choose to live. Are you living on campus? Are you staying in a family? Are you walking to where you're taking classes? Or do you need to get a transport card to take the buses, the tube, and the train, trams, various things? And personal expenses. That's the one that's really hard to identify early on, right? Do you want to travel a lot within your country or without of your country? What kinds of personal expenses do you think that you'll need? And think about how much money you spend here and the kinds of things that you want to do abroad, and that will help you. And I can, of course, help you with the budgeting part of that to help figure out that. And I feel like I was going to say something else. Oh, of course, textbooks. You still that's a fee that you have here, but you will have textbook fees there. Typically, it's a little less because a lot of times people are relying on online articles and things like that you would pay to have printed out. Okay. So the question now becomes, where can I study? We have a variety of programs in over 50 countries. Here on this slide, you see a few of your options. And I will discuss these options in a little more detail in a moment. And this is, of course, something we can talk about more one-on-one. Here at Rona College, we have a variety of program models. We have extension campuses, like Rona College in the Yucatan, Rona College in Leipzig, Germany. Future possibilities, we are hopeful we may have one in the UK. I would like Scotland. We'll see if that works out. And Dr. Snow is interested in having a semester in Israel. So hopefully those are things coming down the pipeline sometime in the future. Those programs are taught by Rona College professors. They are Rona College classes. So we just call them our extension campuses, right? So we also have exchange programs. Exchange programs are ones where you would be taking courses with other local students, other international students, possibly other American students, of course. It's kind of like being enrolled directly there at that university because you're just going to be like one of their original students, right? And so here's a list of some of those exchange programs. And of course, I have all this on our website. You'll see I've got a couple question marks down there for Flame University, Alba University, and there's one actually in Sweden also that we're trying to develop some exchange programs, but those are also in development and they haven't been confirmed yet. And then we belong to the ICEP International Exchange Network. And this consortium of universities are in locations in over 50 countries. So this sort of gives us our breadth of the options that we can offer students, because we don't have, let's say, an exchange in Ghana, for instance. But ICEP has an exchange at University of Ghana. So our students can benefit from the reach that they have by taking courses through that program. Now, I think I mentioned that the exchanges, so extension campuses, you're charged just like you are on campus normally. There may be some, in Leipzig, for instance, you're not charged for meals. You are expected to put some money aside and pay for food to cook or out in Leipzig, but it is incredibly affordable. The extension campuses usually do have a program fee because they are set up very much like a May term. In May terms, everyone travels together, they're on the same flight, things like that. And so that's why there's a program fee. Those are the only programs that have program fees, and they're usually very inclusive of charges. Very little extra charges would be included, and I'll talk to you about those if you're interested. As far as the exchange programs, we have a couple like UEA and Kansai Gaidai that are full exchanges where you pay us for everything and then you don't pay them for anything. And then we have some others here that are on that model where you pay us for tuition fees and you just pay them for housing. Okay, ICEP is set up where you pay all of it to us. Okay, so we also have affiliated programs. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean to you? In reality, it may not mean too much to you. It depends on what you choose. But an affiliated program is one, in most cases, we've had to pay for, right? That we pay the program fee for you, that you don't pay that, okay? Now, there are a couple models within these programs. Some of them are direct enrolls, like Massey and Cork, where, again, you'll be taking courses at that university just like one of their students. And then some of our programs are set up just for study abroad students, like Umbra Institute, for instance, or ISI Florence, or USAC San Sebastian. These are programs that are set up specifically for study abroad students. Those programs tend to follow very closely the American model of education, which means discussion-based classrooms, multiple assessments, things like that. Whereas if you are direct enrolling in some of these other universities, generally you are going to have a higher level of independence in completing your assignments. You may only have 2 assessments for the entire semester. So you have to, some students love that freedom and some students don't. So it's good to know how best you learn to be prepared for the semester. And of course, I can help you through that as part of our pre-departure and prepare you for those things. So I mentioned a little bit about the Leipzig semester in passing, and just let me give you a quick overview of this program for the fall. So Dr. Andrea Mihalaki O'Keefe is leading a group of Rhoda College students to Leipzig, Germany this fall. This semester-long program will immerse students in both the German language and culture while allowing them to receive regular course credit. Courses vary each semester, but students this fall will be studying international relations, political science, environmental studies, and German culture through film. It's open to all majors, and there are no language prerequisites. We are currently full for this semester, unless something were to change with that, but please let me know if you're interested in Leipzig, because we hope to have one run every fall. Now, the Yucatan semester. Each spring, we endeavor to offer students to spend the semester in a truly magical place, the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. This program has been developed with our Mexican partners over the years to provide a study abroad experience like no other. Students spend several weeks in Mérida, the beautiful, vibrant capital of the Yucatan. Students will take a language course with our partners at the language school Habla, and will stay in homestays with local families. You do not have to have any Spanish language skills to enroll in the semester, however. Our partners at Habla can support students at any level, beginner to advanced. The homestay families have been vetted and have been working with us and Millsaps College for years. 2 students are assigned to each family, so you will be sure to have a peer your age in your homestay. Students also travel to Oshkoshkamp to take courses with the region's leading expert in Mayan archaeology. You will learn about Mayan lifeways and get to see some of the artifacts that Don Tomas has unearthed. It's pretty amazing. You will then spend a week or so in Akil, a small rural village just outside Oshkosh. There you will learn firsthand about Mayan archaeological worldviews and farming practices. Throughout the semester, we connect you with local peers and offer cultural activities to immerse you in this beautiful place. We offer excursions to ancient ruins and modern cities and wonderful outdoors adventures. You can even spend the night off the grid in a jaguar preserve. There's really nothing like this semester, and I wish more students would participate because it's amazing. For this spring, there's going to be some variation, of course. The variation in 2 of the courses that are taught each semester, those depend on which faculty member is leading it for that spring. And so this spring, this coming spring, Dr. Whitney Leeson will be leading the semester. And so she's going to be teaching History 290, Heritage, Tourism, Cultural Authenticity, and Economic Development in the Yucatan. Also, History 272, Introduction to Latin America. Those other 2 listed, the AMP and the Spanish, are ones that we always teach. So she is planning this amazing semester of travel throughout the ruins and really calling into question tourism and sustainability and things like that. And so their courses are multidisciplinary in a sense, even though they are, history courses. She does include multidisciplinary perspectives, and so you are able to get credit for some other courses as well. They can count for various major, minor, concentration, and INQ credits. So if you're interested in this program, please contact me or Dr. Leeson for more details. And I just wanted to show some pictures from some of our popular exchange programs. Kansai Gaidai is a program we have had for years and years and years and continues to be a very popular option. And this program is located in Hirakata City in Osaka in Japan. And it's an amazing place that you get to visit. And they have an entire campus set up to join Japanese students with international students. It's pretty amazing. The American University of Cairo has pretty much every major, minor concentration we have here. You can get your entire your credits filled there while being in Cairo, in this beautiful campus and lively city where you can also go out and see the ancient pyramids and things like that you've read about since you were a child. I have a picture of Carissa, who was abroad at Ulster University recently, and that is in Northern Ireland. She did some amazing things with video production, even worked with someone who had experience in the movie industry, so quite interesting. And Iwa University there, Iwa Women's University. If you are a study abroad student, males can also attend this, or if you're a graduate student. But for undergraduate education, their home students, their domestic students, are all females. And it's this gorgeous, amazing facility. I get to visit that as well in Seoul, Korea. So please consider some of these. Some of our popular affiliate programs in Europe are, let's say, Brighton, Cork in the Republic of Ireland, Regents in London, ISI Florence in Italy, and Umbra in Italy. These are really very student-centered programs that we can offer you. Some popular affiliate programs in Oceania. Massey continues to be very interesting for people because it's a 3 campuses university in 2 cities and 1 smaller town. So you can get a variety of courses. And, New Zealand is, if you are an outdoor lover, you can certainly find many things to do. We also have 3 programs in Australia, one at James Cook University, the one I mentioned that's one of the most renowned universities in the tropics. And then we have one in Deakin, which is in Melbourne, and one at Griffith, which is, basically on the beach. So some great programs where you can experience life outside of the classroom as well as inside. So, are you eligible to study abroad? Are you 18? Do you have a clear academic integrity and conduct record? Now, what I mean by that, it does not mean that if you have an alcohol violation, for instance, on your record that you can never study abroad. What we're looking for is that if you have made a mistake, that you have rectified it, you have done everything that you needed to do, that you were asked to do to correct the mistake, and then you're back on track. I don't want to see, 3 or 4 of these on your record, because then that tells me probably not mature enough to handle, living in another country. But as long as it wasn't something violent or rather bizarre and things have been resolved, then you are likely to be approved in that area. And GPA, 2.5 cumulative GPA, not, let's say you've done horribly in one semester, you get a 2.5. No, this is your cumulative GPA. Now, that's just to apply for us. There are some programs that are going to have higher minimum requirements. ISEP is 2.75, for instance. Cork is 3.0. So we don't have any programs at the current moment that are above 3.0. And there are several at the 2.5 mark, but that is the minimum. If you are like a 2.45, then you can still apply, and we can work on seeing if we can find you a place that would accept that GPA. But you do need to have a minimum of 2.5 generally. So, are you ready to get started? This is such an outstanding opportunity right here at your fingertips. Satisfy your curiosity about the world and about who you are while getting an education, enhancing your career prospects, and enjoying the unique adventure of studying abroad. Become a well-rounded person, employee, grad school applicant, citizen. How can you do this? Plan ahead. This is the best thing you can do. The minute you know you want to study abroad, that's when you should start thinking about it, because and planning for it. The earlier you can plan, the better. The more flexibility you have in the courses that you can take, the more choices and programs that you can go to. Keep your GPA up. Don't let this be the thing that keeps you from going to your dream school. Okay? Tell your advisor that you want to study abroad. We can leave no advisors behind, okay? They need to know that you want to study abroad. If they feel like, I don't know if this can happen, I can certainly talk with them. I will be talking with the department heads to help you get your courses approved, so we can have that discussion if we need to. But you definitely want to keep them in the loop. And talk with me. So send me an email. boggs@roanoke.edu. You can see that there. And then how can you apply? So you complete the online application. On the page where you found this link, you should see a menu item that says application procedures. It's online. You complete that, it gets sent to me, and then I can start the eligibility checks. I also need you to submit to me your major, minor, concentration check sheets. I can send you a fillable PDF of those, so you can send that back to me, and we can do that all electronically. And unofficial transcripts. I don't need you to send me your official transcripts at this point. We will at some point moving forward need to request them for the program that you're going on, but for me, I don't need that. So just let me see the course that you have taken and are enrolled in. And there is an application fee. The application fee is $350 for the semester. Now, you can turn in your application before paying that fee. I will need to have that fee collected from you before I turn around and pay the fees for you to apply for the programs, because that's usually how it works. Okay, but if you need a little time to get the application fee into me, that's okay. We can totally negotiate that, but I will need to have your applications in hand. Now, deadlines, generally speaking, you need to apply about a year before you want to go. So if you want to go abroad in the spring of 2021, then you should be applying during the spring of 2020. If you want to go abroad in the fall of 2021, you need to apply during the fall of 2020. Okay? There is some flexibility with some of that, but it depends on your particular situation. Oftentimes, it's just not enough time for me to get you involved in all the meetings and things that we'll have to prepare you for the experience. So I will do my best. I have talked forever on this thing, but I wanted you to have a real good overview. What other questions do you have? What you need to do, just connect with me. That's right. You can also check out our website, roanoke.edu/study abroad, and then send me an email. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you.